I went to the charity shop the other day and I found a bunch of CDs, but they're all by Michael Jackson and they're all singles. So I thought it'd be fun to do a sort of mock chart rundown, as if for one brief moment in history, all of the singles in that week were by Michael Jackson. Roll V2. So the order I pull these out of the pile isn't the order that they appeared in the chart, but they're in my chart just for today and one day only. But I'll try and remember to put the chart positions in as well. So here we go. So first of all, we've got Rock My World. This was the lead single from the album of the same name, released in 2001, and this peaked at number 10. Next up, we've got In the Closet. This was the third single, from the 8th studio album by Michael Jackson, Dangerous. Originally, it was going to be a duet with Madonna. She didn't actually appear on it, but there were some female vocalists, which was a sort of mystery female vocalist on the album, and later on it transferred. That was Princess Stephanie of Monaco. So it turns out if you are the legitimate king of pop, you can get legitimate royalty to come and sing on your songs. So that's rather cool. Next up, we've got the sixth and final single from history from 1995. Well, the album was from 1995. This is Stranger in Moscow. The single wasn't released until 1996, although if you're listening in America or watching this in America, you guys didn't get this until 1997. An early version of this, by the way, appears, or the chord sequence of it anyway, appears in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 video game. So there we go, there's a bit of trivia for you. So next up, we've got Heal the World from 1991's Dangerous. And Michael Jackson said this was the song he was most proud of creating. Most proud... Okay, maybe. Best, but I would argue with that, Mr. Jackson, but yeah, okay, if he's most proud of that one, I suppose, fair enough. It's certainly not my favourite. Right, next up we've got Who Is It? This is the fifth single from Dangerous. Never performed this one on tour, but a snippet of it was performed in the interview we did with Oprah. This one peaked at number 14 in the US charts. Next up we've got They Don't Care About Us. This is a remix one. This is the one that happened to be there. This came out in 1996. Fifth single from history, and the video was directed by Spike Lee on this one, who had to defend Michael Jackson after this was released because there were claims of anti-semitism in some of the lyrics, which he then had to go back and change later on. So next up we've got You Are Not Alone. This was the second album off the History album, and it was written by R. Kelly, and the video featured some slightly raunchy sort of half-naked scenes with Elvis Presley's daughter Lisa Marie, of course at the time, with Michael Jackson's wife. This one actually did peak at number 1, and it debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 100 in America, which was at the time a Guinness World Record. So next up we've got Black or White, and this was the this was the first single from Dangerous in 1991. Spent 7 weeks at number 1. The video was directed by John Landis, who also did the iconic video from Thriller. And this is a remix of Black and White, some other tracks on it as well. So this is Remember the Time. It is the second single from Dangerous in 1991. Peaked at number 3 in the US, and the video there was like a 9-minute long video of this, which had like Eddie Murphy and Magic Johnson and Iman in like ancient Egypt because 90s. So that's what that one is. Peaked up to number 3. Next up we've got History, obviously from the History album, but this was originally never released when the album came out in 1995. A remix was a couple of years later in 1997, and that's what that is. Right, next up we've got the lead single from History. This was released at the time the History album came out in 1995, and it was a duet with his little sister Janet. So this actually holds the Guinness record, allegedly, for the most expensive music video at the time. Apparently it cost $7 million to make, although the director of the music video, Mark Romanek, disputes this, saying there were a couple of videos of a similar time that cost millions more than that. Millions more than the $7 million. And this was like 1995 when $7 million was a lot of money. There we go, inflation now, it's a Starbucks, but there we are. And finally we've got Earth Song. This was the single, the third single, from History, and the video won a Grammy for this, and not only that, but it reach the coveted Christmas #1 spot here in good old Blighty. So that's it. That's the Christmas rundown, singles rundown of Michael Jackson, if all of these things were in the charts at the same time. I hope you found that mildly diverting and amusing, and if you did, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe and all that sort of stuff. And I will provide you with some more musically related shenanigans in the very near future. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. See you soon. Ciao.